Hey everybody, I'm here with the Salinas uh from Syracuse, New York, surf band. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Great.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what instruments you play in the band?
My name is John Sorber. I play bass.
Yeah, I'm AJ Penizzato. I play guitar, and our drummer Dan Franz is not here, but
He
he's
sends
our
his regards.
he sends his regards. That's right.
So you guys might be familiar with maybe another band in Syracuse. Do you guys play with them a lot?
Underwater Bosses.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, they're our boys.
nice. Nice.
Yep.
Now I as far as geographically, I don't know how far you guys are from New York City. You're kind of farther north.
Like 5.5 ish.
Yeah,
Yeah, New York, like an hour north of Binghamton.
Okay.
yeah, about 270 miles.
Okay, about.
So it
I
was
looked at
it was cool to listen to your music being from Syracuse, that you have like a really traditional kind of Dick Dale sound on a couple of your tunes. um Tell me what some of your inspirations were for the music.
Wow, yeah, Dick Dale is a big deal. I mean, anything Reverb for this first album, but we try to put some like prog elements in there, so we sort of sneak some kind of winding or different time signatures in. And that's like, I'm a big Frank Zappa guy. There's some of that in there. And what about you, John?
um, More of like a rock background, and I always played in heavier bands, like heavy metal bands and stoner rock bands and stuff like that. So I think the writing styles and what we've come up with, like AJ will come up with a riff and it's very surfy, and then we kind of take that riff and evolve it and all throw our own influence on it, and then the end product is kind of, you know, a chocolate chip cookie with all our ingredients.
Yeah.
So I found your band through Hunter King's list on Storm Shores of Reverb of all the bands who had releases in 2022.
Oh, very cool.
Your album was one of them, so I checked it out.
Nice.
What was that year like for you putting that record together?
It was actually over like a year and a half, almost 2 years it took to put that out.
Yeah.
We started tracking in July of 2021. No, 2020, I
No,
believe.
2021.
2021.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It all blends together. Um, but yeah, did like 6 months of tracking probably. On weekends, and we book full weekends at a studio here in Syracuse called More Sound, which has been in Syracuse forever. Great studio. Um, and then just a lot of time on the mastering and mixing process to make sure that we got everything exactly how we wanted it, and all those levels were where we wanted them. And I think we just wanted to be 100% happy with our finished product.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, we had this material through 2020, so it ended up being, since we couldn't do anything studio wise during that year, we ended up really getting a chance to polish it up, and almost to our detriment at some point, because I ended up writing a lot of additional guitar parts.
Yeah.
So that took up a little bit of time in the studio, but I think the end result is was worth it. It sounds pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're a three-piece, correct?
Yep. Bass, drums, guitar.
So the recording, like you said, you had a couple extra guitar parts on it.
Yeah.
It sounds really full. Is that because of the layering or because of the different elements that you play with in your gear?
Well, I think it's probably on the record. It's more the layering, um, than anything. Like, try to I tried to, on that record, like, back everything up with interesting chords, and kind of yeah, fill it out that way. There's also a couple of 12 string layers on there,
And acoustic.
an acoustic guitar at one point. So we really, that was kind of an intentional thing to make it make it sound nice and full, but
Big.
yeah, it's something you couldn't get from us in a live setting, essentially.
Okay. Have you been playing out shows since your album came out?
Yeah, we've had a handful of shows since it came out in December. So we
Yeah.
probably maybe 4 or 5 shows since then.
How did you find translating that music, the layered guitar parts into one live performance?
How did I find? I'm sorry. Could
How
you?
did you find like you had like the layering, but how did you translate that into your live performance?
You know, I was already playing it a certain way live, and it just kind of opened up my options a little bit for what I could kind of jump between. But mainly, I'm playing the lead parts, and John's bass really fills out the sound when we're live. So I don't really need to rely too much on jumping back and forth between
Right.
chord and single note leads, kind of stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. This interview will come out around June. What are your plans for early spring, summer this year, 2023?
John.
Well, we hope to get back into the studio. So we're gonna take like a 3 month break from shows. We played New Year's Eve, which was an awesome show, packed the house. We played at this little bar called the Night Drop. Um, and they love us there. So we almost have like a residency, I would call it. Every couple months we'll play a show there.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna be playing a show in March in Syracuse, March 18th, and that's about to be confirmed. Um, but really, just we want to get into the studio and do like a double LP or a double EP. I'm sorry, maybe do like 6 songs of each, and kind of have like a lighter feel to one side, and then like a little bit heavier and more melodic or like metal feel. So like
Yeah.
surf metal, and then like a happy surf
Yeah,
or
or like tropical surf.
Yeah.
We kind of have we've got songs just coming out that feel.
there's 2 vibes to them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. 2 vibes. We have 2 vibes coming out right now.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
There's a couple of records that I had purchased myself. One by a band called the Ravenettes, and they have a double 7-inch. And I could never figure out why they did until I separated the 2 7-inches. I had a digital version, and then I bought the 7-inch. And I'm like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, is that a similar thing with the Ravenettes where it's like vibe related?
Yeah, yeah.
Be cool.
They're not surf music, but there's a lot of reverb and the vibe is kind of there.
Cool.
So what I want to remind everybody is in the link in the description, you can find the Bandcamp page for the Salinas. Below that, some cool Pyrex merch and tons of surf music resources. Get in touch with the band, go sample their music, and support the band by buying the digital version. And that'll help pave the way for maybe a physical copy in the future. And let's get out there and go see them in Syracuse. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us.